Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club. Today I thought we would do something a little bit different. I thought we would talk about how I originally got into A Song of Ice and Fire. And I won't lie, I originally watched Game of Thrones, the TV show, before I started reading the book as well. I watched 2 episodes. I'd got really into Vikings, and I think season 2 of Vikings had just ended. So I went on to IMDb and I looked up, shows like this, shows you may like, and Game of Thrones popped up. So I downloaded it illegally. And it was just the first 2 episodes. I hadn't, none of the rest of them were out. So I downloaded the first 2 and I watched them and I thought they were amazing. But I didn't really get the lore. I was like, what's going on here? Especially with, the prologue. I didn't get it. I was like, oh, this is weird. But I liked the Starks and I liked that dynamic. And when Bran got thrown out the window, I was like, I'm watching the rest of this. So, went to tech the next day, college, but we call it tech. And I said, oh, I've started watching this new show. And people were like, oh, what is it? And I was like, oh, it's called Game of Thrones. And my friend, Selena, went like crazy. She said, oh my God, you're watching it. I've been reading the books. And then I was like, there's books. Oh my God, there's books. And I'm a real book nerd. And I was like, ooh, there's books. And she's like, yeah, there's books. And I was like, ooh, I can't wait. And I think she was on A Feast for Crows at that point, and I didn't know anything. So I was like, okay, went home, and I was doing art at college. I was doing my foundation degree. I don't know if they do them in America, but you do your basic art degree. It's your first year of uni before you go to uni. And I decided, I was like, well, I'm doing loads of painting because I was trying to get in to do fine art, and I was like, I'll download the audiobooks if I can get them. So I downloaded all the Roy Dotrice audiobooks. And they took ages to download, so I kept my laptop on all night. And then the next day when I went to uni, I think it was tech, I think it was a Friday. And we got given these big pieces of wood, enormous pieces of wood. And they were like, okay, you have to paint something on this to do with your final major project. And I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a big deal. Because I was working and stuff. I was like, how am I gonna do this? So I brought it all home on the bus. It's this enormous piece of wood. And I got home and Game of Thrones had finished downloading. So I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I put it up on the wall and I was put on Game of Thrones, the audiobook, Roy Dotrice, started listening to it, and I did not stop for 12 hours. I was just painting and listening to Game of Thrones on audiobook. And I texted Selena and I was like, oh, this is really good. I'm getting super into it because I was immediately enthralled, that. And one of the things I loved was I thought it was so true to the TV show. They were so good together. And that's a real panicky thing of mine. When movies or TV shows aren't like the books. And I was like, this is gonna be so good. There's gonna be so much stuff. I was already so invested. And literally by the end of that weekend, Monday when I went back to tech, I was to my friend Selena, I was like, I finished a Game of Thrones. Ned's dead. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Immediately started reading all of them, just on audiobook while I was doing my art. And I adored it, I adored it so much. And I realized, as soon as I started listening to the audiobook, I realized about 3 months prior to discovering Game of Thrones, I'd been in Spain visiting my mum, and we went to our little secondhand bookshop we always go to, and I picked up A Clash of Kings because I thought it was to do with the War of the Roses, because I'm super into medieval history. And I picked it up and I'd read the back, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of interesting. I remember the name Tyrion Lannister, and I remember them talking about the Battle of the Blackwater. And I was like, ooh, this looks interesting. Maybe I could read it. But when I opened it, I realized it was one in a series. And I was like, oh, it's not the first one. I'll only read it if it's the first one. I don't want to jump into a series halfway through. So I already kind of had an idea what it was before I started, I guess, in a weird way. And then of course I realized pretty soon that they were filming here. So I was so into that. And I was I knew a guy who had been one of the Ironborn. He'd been an extra, and I thought that was really cool. And now everyone I know has been an extra in Game of Thrones, including myself. So it's no big deal. But at the time it was so cool. You were an extra in this massive TV show. And by the end of that summer, I had read all the books. And I even got A Dance with Dragons. I'd finished all the audiobooks, and then I read A Dance with Dragons in paperback as well, because there's so much that happens in A Dance with Dragons. I was like, okay, I need to reread this in person. And ever since I've been super obsessed with it. I don't know why. And I was really excited when I got to be an extra, but I just love the books. I love the books so much. I'm actually in the middle of my 6th reread. It's been, I think, about a year and a half since I read them last, but like I think about it all the time, like, and I even have like mugs and glasses and stuff with like all the houses on them, and I just love the book. I love the show. Well, the show ended so badly, don't even talk to me about it. Like, I'm in the last episode of the last season and I could not be more disappointed, because we filmed that like way before, like 3 years before it came out, and I was like hoping and praying it was gonna get better, but it so didn't, and I was kind of embarrassed, you know? And that's really the story of how I got into A Song of Ice and Fire / Game of Thrones. I did finish the first book before the first season finished, so I knew it was going to happen. Unfortunately, I did have the Purple Wedding spoiled for me, because after I finished was it Clash of Kings? Yeah, I think it was a Clash of Kings I finished reading, and I was like, oh my god, like, you know, what's happening, blah blah blah. And I was talking to my friend Selena, and she was like, oh yeah, Joffrey dies. And I was like, okay, you just like ruined such a big like plot device. I was like, ah! So I hated that, but nobody spoiled the Red Wedding for me, so that was really good. And before it like got super big, when it was in like the first 2 seasons and like people were really into it, I used to get majorly excited if I found someone like in a bar or like you're out clubbing, like they were into it, and you'd like spend like all night just talking about it, like, and get like really like obsessed and be like, go away, like you're not into it, like you don't know what you're talking about, like you've only seen the TV show. And even now, like, I'd be like that, like, if you've only seen the TV show, like, no, the books are where it's at. So, I just thought I'd do this little, like, intro video, because I already have, like, tons of, like, my Game of Thrones theories on this channel, and I thought you should really hear about how I got into it. Like, I didn't discover it when I was, like, I was a teenager. I was, like, 18. I wasn't, like, a young teenager, like some people. Like, I didn't read them as they came out, but I wouldn't have, like, because I'd have been, like, I think I was, like, 4 when the first book came out, I think. I don't know. So I thought I'd like tell the story about how I got into it, and I would love to hear some of your stories about how you got into a Game of Thrones. You know, like, did you watch the TV show and then read the books? Did you read the books and then watch the TV show? Did you discover it completely by accident? Let me know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe to this channel for more Game of Thrones theories. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Lady Jessica Riddell. Until next time, bye! Also, I thought I would like show you guys this, because like it was right behind me, so I wondered if anyone noticed. Look, it's me on the Iron Throne when I went to Comic-Con. Ah, look at me, I'm so cute. I got Joffrey's crown, and I think that's Lion's Tooth. I'm not too sure. I remember they told me, but I can't remember. And then I have my massive Cersei poster. She's so brilliant. I love her. She's mental. I love her so much. And I loved Lena Headey playing her. I thought she was so good. So I thought I'd just share that. Wall of Game of Thrones.